welcome back to my channel. I am finally sitting down and filming this video for you to talk about my experience going and visiting Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. I do have my computer over here to the left of my camera, so you will probably see me frequently throughout this video glance over here to read off notes that I made from our trip, which really are like tips from when we traveled. So you're going to get a total of about 8 tips that I wrote down over the course of our trip. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so first and foremost, if you are not prepared to sit down for a longer video, then feel free to watch this in chunks and come back to it, because this will be a little bit longer of a video. Also, before we get into everything, be sure to hit the like button as well as hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Subscribing to this channel is free, totally free, doesn't cost you anything, and subscribing and liking the video really helps me and my channel out a lot. And I would love to have you here with me for all things travel. Now, I had never been to the Dominican Republic prior to this trip. And so I went with my family. It was a family trip. And it was myself, my mom's stepdad, my sister, and then my 2 stepsisters. And we had a really good time. And it was just one of the things that I will say right now, right off the bat, that really made the experience were the people who worked at the hotel and the people who worked at the places we did excursions at. It was really neat. It was an experience I've never had at a hotel, at least, where consistently we saw nearly the same people, and so you would interact with them and just talk to them. It was a lot of fun. Our hotel, we were in the Royalton Bavaro hotel, so if you're interested in seeing a video on the room tours that I did, that will be up here in the top somewhere, and you can go check that out. I will also link it at the end of this video. And yes, I said room tours. So we actually were in 2 rooms, my sister and I, because the night we got there, we got into our room that we were assigned initially, and there was a really strong smell of, I don't even know what it was, either sewer or something. It was a really bad smell. And so our hotel was very kind and accommodating for us and helped us find a new room. I will say, in the process of doing that, they assigned a new room. We didn't have hotel cards. It was like a wristband thing, which I wish all hotels did that, because that was great, because we could just leave our wristbands on and not have to worry about if we had a room key on us or not. But the first room that we got reassigned to, we went and opened the room, and there were other people that were staying in that room. So, and one of the days, we were just kind of relaxing during the afternoon in our hotel room before dinner, and someone used their room key thing on our room, and it opened our door, and that was on the second room that we got reassigned to. And so things like that did happen. So if you do stay at the Royalton Bavaro, or any hotel for that matter, make sure you lock the top and bottom door locks, just to help ensure your privacy and safety. But anyway, so we had our first room was not ideal, and we were able to that night of the first night there, they did put us in a new room, and we were we were okay with the room we ended up being moved to eventually. And it was both rooms were on the Diamond Club level at the Royalton Bavaro, which was really neat. So with the Diamond Club, there was like a little lounge area where you can get snacks or water or coffee or whatever throughout the day. And then there was also a special area specifically for Diamond Club members, like a specific pool for Diamond Club members, and we spent a lot of time over there, and that was really nice. Aside from the Diamond Club pool, I think they had like one or two other adult pools, and then they had a pool specifically for kids. They also had a lazy river, which was so much fun. The lazy river also had like a bar that was a part of it, but we didn't go there. But the lazy river had 2 or 3 different slides and then water fountains that you could go under and a bunch of stuff. It was really fun. And then the beach you can walk past, and you can go on the beach, and that was really nice. Has plenty of lounge chairs, and the water was absolutely beautiful. And that was my very first time ever experiencing a really nice beach. I'm from Texas, so the only beach I had ever really been to in my life up until that point was Galveston. And Galveston isn't the nicest of beaches if you've ever been there. So seeing really pretty blue water and really very pretty clean sand beaches was really cool. And then, let's see, the dinners were actually really good. To someone else it might be more average, but I thought the food was really good. And one of the fun dinners that we had was at like a hibachi like grill type place, and we actually got to go up and do the hibachi like grill thing, which was really cool because I've gone to things like that in the past as growing up and always kind of wanted to try it, so that was fun. But really, there were days, we had 2 hotel days, I think it was, and then 2 excursion days. So we went to Escape Park, which was really cool. It's kind of like I want to call it like a water park, but that's not the right way to refer to it. But they had like a pool, they had a cenote, they had I think 2 or 3 different types of zip lines, like a regular zip line and series. And then they also had some zip lines that go over pools, and there was also one where you you zip line across and you can drop into a pool. So they had a bunch of stuff like that. And they also had animals. They had an iguana exhibit where you literally walk into this area and there's just iguanas everywhere. Like, you see one and then you start to see a whole bunch of others, and you can just walk through with them in there with you. I'm not gonna lie, that was a little intimidating for me, but it was very cool. And then there are little places that you can eat in a gift shop and that type of a thing. The other place we did an excursion at, the name it's escaping me at the moment, but we went and did boogies, which are basically buggy carts, and so you drive the buggy carts through like dirt and mud, big mud puddles, and you get absolutely covered in dirt and mud. It was fun. That was a little scary though because of other people around us, but it is what it is. It was really fun. There was, along the course of you doing that, you go and you stop at a cenote, and this particular cenote, I actually got into that one because the water was warmer and it was hot. The cenote at Skate Park was cold water. But anyway, so there was a cenote that we got into, and then you kept driving for a little bit longer, and then there was a stop at like this I don't even know what it was, replica of like of what buildings used to be like there or something of that sort. And you go and then you walk through and you eventually get into a room where you sit down and you do a tasting of coffee, and then you also get to taste hot chocolate made with like chocolate that's naturally grown and harvested there. It was really fun. And then after that we finished the buggy excursion, and then we got to go through their lazy river that they had at that particular place, which mind you was emphasis on lazy, like the water wasn't moving. At some point I got out of our tube and just started like walking through the water because it wasn't moving. But that was really fun. I recommend it. If I go and find the name of that place, I'll put it on the screen. Let's see what else. Trying to think of what else. We didn't spend as much time as I would have liked to at our hotel, but we were only there for a couple days, which was truthfully the perfect amount to be there for. And I didn't mention it. If you watched the video of the room tours, our rooms, as I said previously, were on Diamond Club level, but they were also swim out rooms. So there was a sliding door on our rooms, and that just has you walk out to like this patio type area, and then there's a pool right there that you can get into, which was really nice. We got into ours a couple times, maybe once. I think I got in once, maybe twice, but that was really nice. Had we not had excursions, I don't know if we would have gotten into our pools that much. Like more than that, I guess I should say. But that was nice. The food at the hotel was nice, and the people were just so fun to interact with. I've never had that experience before. And in addition to that, one of the highlights for me was being able to get a coconut water with literally it's the coconut with the water in it. That was really fun for me, so I was really excited about that, and it was really cool because the coconut had the hotel's name like stamped on it somehow, or carved, I can't remember, it may have been stamped. But overall, I would say I would recommend the Royalton Bavaro. I've only been there one time, and so maybe the room situation isn't always what it was when we went, but it is a very nice hotel. There were other aspects of the hotel that we didn't really go in and explore very often. One thing I forgot to mention, I'm not sure how I forgot to mention this, but they had like circus performances that you could go and watch. So we watched that, but then it rained, so that we didn't really see the full thing. They also did like a singing, dancing show that was really cool, and they also had a Michael Jackson show and an Elvis show. Both of those were really cool. I would highly recommend going and watching all of those if you do get the chance to go and visit, and they have those. Go and watch them. It was really cool. And the hotel was very good about, I want to say safety, but on the day that we were going to do the buggy excursion, the car that was supposed to come and pick us up and take us there, I don't remember if it wasn't on time. I think it wasn't on time. And so because it wasn't on time, the hotel wouldn't let the car in. So we had to have someone else from the hotel take us on a cart over to where the car was that was waiting to pick us up. And so we were very impressed that they were pretty strict about that. So that was nice. this is not one of my tips, but I will recommend just double checking the date and time of your excursions if you do book some. One of the excursions we were meant to go on was like a boat excursion of some sort, and the date and time was not double checked, and so we ended up missing our excursion for that. So just as a general thing, make sure you double check your date and times of your excursions in your schedule so that you can make sure you're able to experience everything. Let's see. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to get into my notes and tips from the trip we took. My tip number 1 is to, when you get off of your flight, at the hotel, you're gonna end up getting off your flight and getting onto a bus. So when you get there, get onto the bus last after the flight to Punta Cana lands, if possible, because that can help ensure you a better chance of getting to the immigration line first. If you can be as close to the bus doors as possible, that would be best when you're on the bus. So my mom and stepdad had already gone a couple times to the Dominican Republic, and so one of the things we did was we ensured that we were some of the last people off the plane so that we can get on the bus and then get out of the bus as quickly as possible, and we were one of the first groups to get served first in the immigration line check-in process. Tip number 2 is to check your room before unpacking to make sure there are no issues that need to be addressed that could result in needing to change rooms. So my sister and I got there when we got to the hotel and into our first room, we just started to unpack stuff. And then that was before we decided that the smell in our room was too bad for us to stay in that room. So just make sure you double check everything. And even just as a general safety tip, check your bed, just check your room before you start unpacking to make sure everything's all good. Tip number 3, if you have an excursion day and want breakfast prior to your excursion, the Oceanside Cafe and Restaurant has a breakfast buffet that opens at 7 a.m. And that is specific to the Royalton Bavaro Hotel. Tip number 4, for safety, use both the top and bottom door locks when in your room to prevent anyone coming into your room if you don't want people to come in, which I think most individuals would not want that, regardless of if that's staff of the hotel or in case anyone accidentally gets given the wrong number assigned to them and they accidentally come into your room. Tip number 5 is if you book an excursion and miss it for any reason, do not count on getting a refund. However, regardless of that, do not hesitate to try out a half-day excursion if you decide you want to try and fit something else in, which is what happened to us. I'm pretty sure we were not able to get a refund on the missed excursion, but we were able to go and book a half-day excursion, which was the buggy thing instead. Tip number 6, utilize mobile passport resources when you can to skip the lines or to get through them quicker than individuals who don't utilize those types of resources for immigration. So something that my mom did was she uploaded all of our passports and passport information to a mobile app, and that helped us to get through immigration quicker than other people who did not use such services. tip number 7, a general note: do not fly with Continental Airlines unless absolutely necessary, which is not even Continental anymore, it's United. So don't fly with United Airlines unless absolutely necessary. We leaving the Dominican Republic to go back to Texas, we went from the Dominican Republic and flew into Chicago, and from Chicago we had to go get on a different flight. So we had to go and get our luggage first and then take it to a check-in. Well, they had bad weather that day, and so a good couple airplanes had not been able to either get the luggage off on time or whatever, but we probably waited for our luggage for an hour to an hour and a half maybe. And so when we finally got our luggage, we had to rush to take that to where you drop the bag off, and then we had to run to security, and we ended up having to like cut the entire line. Everyone was so sweet and let us go to the front. We got through security as quickly as possible, and then we had to run and literally book it to wherever the gate was that our second flight was at. So I don't recommend flying through Chicago if you're going to do that, nor on United. But anyway, so there was that general tip. And then, and also our luggage ended up not being able to, it didn't get delivered to the Houston airport. So we had to, when we got there, so we had to have our luggage delivered to our houses. So that was a whole fun ordeal. And then tip number 8, which is my final tip that I have in this list, is another general note. When traveling internationally, travel with an extra set of clothes in your carry-on if you can manage that, in case of luggage being lost or delayed until the next day or something like that. Those were my notes and tips from the trip I took to the Dominican Republic. Overall, would I go back? Yes. I really enjoyed it and was disappointed that the time was a little short, but I did really enjoy it and would recommend it for anyone who's interested in going to the Dominican Republic. Overall, I would recommend Royalton Bavaro. Just keep a couple things in mind and just be aware of things when you're going there. But it was a very nice hotel. There's other hotels in the Dominican Republic that are also nice, if not nicer. And one YouTube channel who we used to pick our hotel is called Coolist. He goes around and has gone to several of the hotels that are in Punta Cana and has given reviews on them, and is very thorough in his reviews. So I would very much recommend checking out his channel, and I will drop it down below in the description. But yeah, I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you enjoyed hearing my experience traveling with my family to the Dominican Republic. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I will see you again very soon. Bye everyone.